Hello, I'm Jaclyn Gallo. Welcome back to my channel. This is video 10 of my 10-part women's empowerment series, and it's all about how to hold your faith. I think that this is the most important skills to learn in the journey of pursuing your dreams, because sometimes you're going to take action and you're going to do all the things we talked about in the other videos. You're going to feel confident, you're going to slay those limiting beliefs, you're going to be really clear on what you want, and you're not going to see anything. It's like, is this working? Is this not? Should I keep doing this? Or is this a definition of insanity? And there's definitely some strategy that can be brought in there. But the most important thing is holding your faith. And it is an art. And I'm going to talk about a few things in this video that have helped me and many of my clients begin to master this art. So the first thing that I find is really helpful when you're feeling down, when you're not really seeing the progress, the evidence that you've been desiring, is to go back to your why. This is the reason that you set this goal in the first place, the reason you're doing what you're doing. When your why is really strong, when it's emotional, when it's meaningful to you, when it matters to you and your values and who you are and what you want for your life, you're willing to get back up when it's hard. You're willing to keep going, even though you don't yet see all of the external validation. It's just like the Polar Express, which is actually one of my favorite movies from my childhood, because the message of getting on the train and you can't see anything yet, but you believe. And then when you ring the bell, you only hear it ring if you believe. That's how manifestation works. You only see the physical manifestation in your reality when you believe. So your job is to hold your faith and keep taking that action, and the manifestation will come. But if you let go of your faith, then you're going to stop taking the actions. And most likely, the thing that you desire isn't going to manifest, because that's not what you're going to attract back into your life. You're not going to be vibrating that frequency anymore. So it's really important to go back to your why and to have a strong why. And right now, an exercise that would be really helpful is just journaling on, what is my why? Why did I set these goals that I created on my vision board? And why do I want the things I want for my life? And get really clear on that. I also want to note that your why may evolve. That's totally normal. When I started my business, I was 21 years old. I was so young. And my why then is actually different than what my why now is. Back then, I just didn't want to sit at a desk from 9 to 5 and feel like I was working towards someone else's goals. That was really the only thing that crossed my mind. I wanted fulfillment. That was my why. My why now, turning 27 next month, is different. I have a lot of complexity to my why. Financial freedom is a huge part of my why, so that I can spend a lot of time with my future children, and that my family doesn't have to worry about different financial burdens in our life, and we don't have to have money determine our decisions, right? That's a big part of my why. Other big parts of my why today, my soul's calling. I feel like I don't really have a choice. I've discussed this on my podcast. There's an episode where I interviewed Zoe Greco. She is the Merhipsy on Instagram. She's a spiritual life coach. And I asked her about this whole concept of feeling like sometimes you don't have a choice. I highly recommend the episode, by the way, on the Spark Your Light podcast if you're not already a listener. And I can link it, and I will link it in the caption so that you can just click it and access it if you want to listen. But something that Zoe and I talked about in that episode is that feeling that my soul doesn't really have a choice. And Zoe talked about soul contracts. Now, before our souls come to earth, they make a contract with God, and they sort of decide, like, these are the things that are in my full potential, and these are the things I want to do in the world. And we have free will, so it doesn't mean that every person fulfills their soul's contract. Probably a lot of people, unfortunately, don't. But I know that speaking and writing on a very large level and coaching in this work I do is just part of my soul's contract. That is not something I knew. Back when I started my business when I was 21, I didn't even know what kind of business I wanted to start. I wrote down ideas in a notebook and I just picked one. And it failed. And I had a lot of failures until I got to where I am now, as you know, if you've been listening to this whole series. So your why might change. That's okay. It's healthy. It's natural. We're humans. We grow, right? In a 6-year journey, for example, you're going to go through different stages of your life. That's okay. What's really important is that you feel connected to your why today and that you tap into that. So journal on that, get clear on that. The next thing that I think is really, really helpful in holding your faith is taking massive action. And I love talking about this because I didn't always believe this. In fact, in my second book, Stop Getting in Your Own Way, I actually talk about why you shouldn't throw spaghetti at the wall. Why for so long I was throwing all of this spaghetti and nothing was sticking. And then I got really clear on what I wanted and I focused on one thing and I did that thing really well. And that created a lot of success for me. I agree with everything I wrote then. It's true. Focusing on one thing that I was really lit up about changed my business in a lot of ways. And I highly recommend the book, The One Thing by Gary Keller. I will also link that in the comments section. However, because everything is a paradox, there's always black and white and good and bad, and neither is really good or bad. And that's the whole paradox of so much of the world we live in. I also believe, and I have found more recently, that throwing spaghetti at the wall can be a wonderful tool for self-belief and faith. When I take massive action, it's a lot easier for me to hold my faith because I just put eggs in 27 baskets. It's very easy for me to believe that one of the baskets, the eggs will hatch, grow a little chick, and be the thing, right? If I only put eggs in 2 baskets, I don't know. I'm not throwing very much spaghetti and I'm not sure, is one of these things really going to work? So that's been a really great strategy for me, particularly in times where I'm feeling like I'm lacking faith. I take a lot of action, not from a negative energy, from a really positive energy of I know that taking this action is going to help me believe and I'm willing to put in the time and effort to raise my own belief. And of course, it often happens that one of the actions actually plays out into something that I've been really desiring or that's been on my vision board. So that's a really fun strategy that can be super helpful. And then the third strategy that I think is important, and I don't see it talked about that often, take care of your basic needs. And once you do that level, enjoy the present moment. I think about this in terms of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The very bottom level of the pyramid are basic needs: food, water, shelter. I have a lot of clients and people who message me on Instagram and they need advice because they're trying to pursue this dream, but they're really, really stressed about money. Not being able to pay your bills is not a fun place to pursue your dreams from. Right? So how can you take care of your basic needs first? How can you enjoy the present? What that does is it fills your faith tank. So when you're taken care of and when you are doing things in your day-to-day life, habits and routine that help you enjoy the present, that help you feel safe, secure, supported, and taking it up to that next level, enjoy every day. So some practices I have that might seem basic that absolutely help me enjoy the present. I get my nails done every few weeks. And when it's warm outside, I also get a pedicure. I love doing that. It really helps me feel nourished. I do yoga. I take soul cycle classes. I take baths. I get facials. I do different things, different practices. I journal. I drink my coffee slow in the morning. I read. I do these things that nourish my soul. Yes, some of them cost money. I couldn't always afford those things. So when I was first starting my business, I was drowning in credit card debt. I definitely could not afford SoulCycle or facials or even nails. I did my own nails. I would paint them every week. They would chip so quick. But I still found ways to nourish myself. I still did my journaling and had my slow mornings and I painted my own nails and I took the time to really enjoy that. art, and I would go for walks outside and I would take baths, things that I could do. So no matter what situation you're in, you can find things to nourish your soul and enjoy the present. And when you do those things, what happens is your faith tank grows. So your faith tank is like your gas tank, and you can fill it up by doing things that help you feel happy, help you feel secure and supported. It's like you have this really solid base, a foundation of a home that's already there. And so when you're putting in the drywall and then you're painting the walls and then you get to the place where you're doing the interior design, you're not worried, is the house gonna blow down in this storm? You know that the foundation is there. You know that the house is really solid. You're taking that house and you're making it a next level home with all your beautiful interior design choices and the colors you choose and all of the great, that's wonderful. But you feel good because your faith tank is filled. That foundation is already there. So that's what you need to create in your world. If you feel like you don't have that today, start to create some of those practices. Start to ask yourself, honestly, are my basic needs being met? And if they're not, what changes can I make to meet them? That's really, really important. Start there, and it's going to take you really, really far. The final point that just is going to take everything we've talked about so far in this video and 10x it is approaching this from an identity perspective. I've talked about identity throughout this video series quite a few times, and you may remember that identity is that top level, that deepest level of transformation. So our identity creates our thoughts create our words create our actions, and our actions create our circumstances. So when we change our identity, we can change everything below, and it's sort of like automatic. It just happens because one naturally leads to the other. So when you approach this from an identity standpoint, you want to become the type of person. Note that sentence, type of person, that's a really great phrase for you anytime you're doing identity work. You want to become the type of person who holds their faith. You want to become the type of person who is determined, who does not give up on their goals, who stays persistent until they see the results they want, who believes in themselves enough to know that they're going to create the things they want and they're not going to stop until they get them. You want to become that type of person. How do you become that type of person? How do we change our identity? Lots of different ways that we can do this inner deep work. Affirmations are a great way. That's how we rewire our brain through repetition, which is one of my favorite ways because it's easy. Anyone can understand affirmations. So try in your morning journal. I am the type of person who holds my faith. I am the type of person who is committed, determined, persistent, any term that resonates with you. If you want to take that up a notch, I love journaling. I like to journal on the evidence. So I like to give myself evidence for why this is true, why this identity is who I am already, right? And so look for evidence in your life. Times where you held your faith until the 11th hour and it actually did come to fruition. Write down those times, bring them front of mind. Anytime that you're feeling low on your faith, open this. Either take a picture of your physical journal or write it in a note on your phone. That way you can actually be out and about in real life and go back to this and see, yes, when I hold my faith, it works out for me. The more evidence you pump into your brain, the more you're going to get behind that identity and start embodying it naturally. So those are my tips on holding your faith. It's not always easy, but I promise it is so worth it. Everything you want for your life, it's available to you. It's up to you to hold your faith, take the action steps, and know you get to have it. And know it's coming. Know it's already on its way. Just keep doing the things and it will be here. I'm sending you so much love. Thank you so much for being a part of this video series. I really enjoyed creating these videos for you, and I hope you enjoyed watching them. If you loved this series, I would love for you to leave a comment. Let me know what you loved most about it. If you have any topic requests or video requests, I might do some similar series in the future or one-off videos if you have requests. So comment them, and I will definitely take into consideration everything you guys are interested in. And as always, if you love this video and you want all the updates from me, subscribe to my channel. Thank you again for tuning in and being a part of this. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you, and I will catch you soon. Bye.